Coventry City versus Sheffield United. This is my match preview. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We do this all the time. We do match previews, match reactions, and EFL Championship predictions. Without further ado, let's jump straight into this one. Obviously, Coventry lost for the first time this season, 3-2 against Wrexham. It wasn't our greatest performance, but it wasn't necessarily terrible. Wrexham took their chances, like other teams haven't done so far this season. Now, I'm really excited to see what this Coventry City side is all about. How do we bounce back from a defeat? All season long, we've got draws, we got wins, we haven't lost a game. Now we finally lost a game. We're playing a midweek game against Sheffield United. How do we bounce back? Do we perform a lot better, or is this going to be the slippery slope down where we usually cover up in the past? But I mean, thankfully first, we're playing a Sheffield United team that isn't doing too well themselves. In their last 5 games, they got 2 wins, 3 losses, 2 losses on the bounce, losing 3-2 to Preston North End and 3-1 to Derby County. Going into this game, a key players for them to look out for, of course, is Callum O'Hare, the ex-Coventry player in the midfield. It's going to be interesting to see what Lampard actually does in this game formation-wise. Do we stick with that back 4, all 4 of our players back in the defence, or are we going to switch to a back 5 where we just need to solidify that defence a little bit more after conceding 3 against Wrexham? On another day in that game, we would have only conceded 1 like the whole season has gone. We've been very lucky at times where we haven't conceded the goals that we should have. A prime example of that is the Watford game where I did my match reaction, and a lot of people agreed with me. I thought a lot of people would say, oh, you're just too negative. On Twitter they were negative, but on actual YouTube they were saying, yeah, you know what, you had a fair assessment, we probably should have lost that game, but we take the 3 points and we move on. And then Wrexham did exactly what Watford did, but they were more clinical, they took their chances, and we lost the game. So will he go with a back 5? I don't think he will. I feel like with the additions coming back into the back 4, we're going to go with that one there. But I'll show you my potential lineups that we could do in this game later on. Now looking at the league table, of course, we're still top of the league with 1 loss, 8 wins, 4 draws, 36 scored, 12 conceded. That's averaging 3 goals scored and 1 conceded. And of course, we lost that game 3-2 to Wrexham, as I mentioned before. Sheffield United, they've lost 10 games this season. 3 wins, 0 draws, 10 losses. But to be fair, they're on 9 points. They're actually not too far off the top 6 if you want to deep it like that. 13 points. I know it's 13 games in. Seems like a mountain to climb, but they're so thankful that the whole league is just kind of open to everybody at this stage. No one's necessarily running away with the league. The teams that you expect to be mid-table / near the bottom have got the points on the board already, like Preston North End, who have 22 points, Charlton Athletic 19 points. Those teams you expect to be towards the bottom, they're actually performing right now, and Sheffield United are going to have to play catch up. Thankfully for us, Gustavo Hamer is injured. I love him as a football player. He's not back till December, so the only player that we know going into this game who played for us recently is Callum O'Hare. We got to neutralise him. As much as we don't like him as Coventry fans, just for the way that he acts, when he was at the club, he was hot and cold with a lot of people. Some people rated him, some people didn't, but of course for Sheffield United, he's actually scoring a lot of goals for them. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists in the league so far with 13 games played. In the last 4 games, he scored 3 goals, so he's on fire at the moment, scoring the goals, as I mentioned before, not in games that actually matter to Sheffield United. If they were getting the wins, they'd look a lot more dangerous, but it's kind of stat padding at this moment. But where does Sheffield United go from this? If they lose this one, they lose 3 in a row out of 5 games. Everything was looking good after those 2 wins, but they're just dropping down. I just don't know where they go. Chris Wilder is the man to take them back to the top of the table. If only they didn't sack them in the summer because they're absolutely delulu, then they would be in a better state. They would probably be top of the league, not Coventry, because of how good their squad is or how good the squad was until Ruben Selles just dismantled it for his own benefits. Seeing as this game is at the CBS, they've only got 2 wins, 5 losses in their away form so far, 0 draws compared to Coventry. Our home record is absolutely phenomenal. We sit second in the league. Of course, we haven't lost in the league since Leeds and Burnley last season. No team can actually beat us. We're really strong at home. We've only conceded 3 goals. The key thing to take away from this preview is the bounce back. That's what we need. A draw won't be good enough, especially coming against a side who's struggling in the league. 10 losses, as I mentioned. It's games like these that you have to capitalize on the teams that would usually be towards the top of the table by now. You need to punish them. The Southamptons, the Sheffield Uniteds, the Birminghams, like we did before earlier in the season, that 3-0 victory. Ipswich Town, when we come up against these teams who aren't doing well, because they will pick up form at some point in the season, and that's why whenever I look at the fixture list that comes out before the season, I don't take too much notice of it because there's so many parameters, so many factors that go into it. When do you play these teams? How many injuries do they have? What is our form going into it? How many injuries we have? There's There's so many different parameters that you could face going up against a team like Sheffield United, and earlier on in the season, it probably would have been beneficial to play them then because of how bad they were. They've picked up wins since then, obviously those 2 in a row before the last 2 defeats. So they probably have a little bit more confidence going into this Coventry game compared to what they did at the start of the season. So all 3 points is the minimum for me personally. The bounce back has to happen. If you're enjoying this match reaction, all I ask is one thing from you. Please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. It helps out the channel. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. And my promise to you is trying to improve every single video that I do on this account for your viewing experience. If you find something in the video that could be added or something that you don't like, let me know in the comments in a positive way, and then I can reinforce that into my future videos. Let's jump straight back into the video. This is the lineup that I'm going to go with. There's a couple of options that we can go with. I've got about 4 lineups that Coventry can do to get the best out of this side. This is the first one. Carl Rushworth in goal, Van Ivek, Thomas, Kitchen, De Silva. I'm going to play Torp and Grimes in midfield. Torp is finally fit, and he showed in that last game against Wrexham how good he is in that midfield role. Thomas Asante as the attacking mid, left hand side Mason Clark, Sakamoto on the right, and I'm going to drop Haji Wright. I don't want to, but he's not giving me any reasons to keep him in the starting lineup. It's not like he's putting in the effort. He's turning into kind of like The Sims last season, where he comes on, he just jogs about a bit. Nothing's necessarily being created for him, which I don't blame him, but he's not helping his case by not actually putting in effort. So I'm going to drop him for Sims, who has been hungry off the bench. I feel like in a game like this, it's very more physical. With their centre backs like Tanganga, he can get on the ball, lay it off. I feel like that would work a lot better than Haji Wright. That's the first option for the formation, a 2 in the midfield with 1 attacking midfielder and then the front 3 like we're usually used to. The second one is just Grimes sitting by himself and having Torp and Thomas Asante as 2 attacking midfielders. Torp, when he goes forward, he scores goals. Why not unlock that with this formation? The back 4 stays the same. I've checked online to see if Kitchen is suspended for the game, and he's not. It's not coming up on FotMob, so that's what I'm going to go with, that back 4. If he is, of course, we've got to go with Thomas and Wolverden. The front 3 stay the same. Mason Clark on that left-hand side. You could necessarily drop him and then play Haji Wright on the left, or you could play Thomas Asante on the left and then play another midfielder like Josh Eccles, like this formation here. But he scored in the last game, Mason Clark. It's very harsh to drop him. I feel like he played really well compared to other weeks. A 7.5 I gave him for my match reaction. If you have not seen that, go check it out. It's one of my most popular videos on the channel, hitting 2.8 thousand views. Thank you so much for that, by the way. So yeah, you could go Torp dropping a little bit deeper alongside Grimes in that midfield role and play Eccles as a 10, which Lampard has done previously in this season. Eccles has played as that Rodoni role, and I'm not necessarily too annoyed with it. We won games with it, we looked good with it. We went on that winning run where he was in that midfield role. He is the man that you could put there, or you could change it and just swap it around where Torp actually plays as the attacking midfielder and Eccles drops back alongside Grimes. So those are the formations you could go with. Those are the lineups. Do I have a preferred one? No, I don't. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a different one to me? Do you think Haji Wright should start up front? Do you think Mason Clark deserves a start? Let me know in the comments down below. So with that all out of the way, this is my prediction for the game. Coventry are going to go back to winning ways. I don't see how we lose this game. Sheffield United last season, yep, they would definitely beat us. This season, we're a new Coventry. We need to see how this team responds to a defeat. And Matt Grimes, in his post-match interview to Wrexham, he articulated himself really well and talked about, you know, we're going to lose throughout the season. That happens. It's how we come back from it. And the players have that mentality in the squad where I believe that they can actually bounce back and put in a good performance. So my score prediction is going to be Coventry City 2, Sheffield United 0. Going back to the back 4 that we know of Carl Rushworth in goal, we're going to shut that gate. They are not getting through. We are so good with that back 4. Compared to Wrexham, where we changed 3 out of the 4 back line, we're going back to what we know. Van Ivek at right back. Left back is going to be De Silva. 2 centre backs, Thomas and Kitchen. It just works so well. We don't need to change it at all. We're going to win this game 2-0. Goal scorers, I'm going to say Ellis Sims scores, and then that puts a little bit more pressure on Haji Wright to perform in games. And I'm going to go for Sakamoto. He's in great form. That last game was probably one of the best performances from an individual player I've seen from Coventry this season. Sakamoto will start, he will score a goal, and we'll win this game 2-0. That's my match preview for Coventry vs Sheffield United. If you've enjoyed this video, a like would be appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, because YouTube tells me 89.6% of my viewers over the last 28 days are not subscribed. So if you want to hit that subscribe button. That'll be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my match reaction where hopefully Coventry have bounced back against Sheffield United and taken 3 points all the way to the top of the league.